Welcome back to the Promised Land. Today we are going to be working on the butt nugget factory. So when we started, we had some problems with the wildlife around here, specifically the flying kind. So we had hawks that would fly down into the chicken yard and steal the chickens. And so we had to find a way to keep them out of that. So what we did is we got a net like we have in this box right here that we ordered off of Amazon, and we put it over the top of the chicken yard. Basically what I did was I put a big tall hedge post in the center of the yard so that it works kind of like a teepee, and then the net kind of flows down. The idea is that we're going to secure it to each quarter of the yard, and that gives them a nice tall wide open area to work in. To do that, we did it once before, and then it lasted a few years, but the net kind of tore. And I think the problem is the surface area at the point at the tip. It kind of fell down over a heavy snow. So we went ahead and we ordered a new net. This is a 50 by 50 bird net. You can get it on Amazon. They're pretty cheap. It comes with these little plastic stake things in it. We're not going to use that. It also comes with these handy dandy, always favorite zip ties. That's not enough. And then this big net. Note, getting this over the top of all that's not fun. So you'll enjoy watching me get mad and angry and fight with that. But to help with this, I also did some research and I decided I'm going to try and run some cables from the point, like the peak, down to the corners. So it gives the net something to kind of sit on and give it a little bit of structure. So I ordered this online, again, through Amazon. It's pretty cheap. It's just some little cable. I'm not even sure what size it was, but it comes with the cable. It comes with the little crimping ends so that when you fold it back on yourself, you crimp it with the fancy dancy tool that comes with it. And it comes with these little loopy thingies that you use to loop it in and protect the turns, I guess, essentially is the best way of putting it. To help expedite this process, like I said, I wanted to try and improve the surface area at the top, and so I started trying to figure out ways to do that, because that's what we do here at the Promised Land, is make things up as we go. So fabrication, I think they call that. I started looking around. I wanted to find something durable, and so I found this. It's just your little chicken 6-inch poultry feeder. You buy it at any hardware or any feed store, basically. This one is, I can't remember. Anyway, it's aluminum, so it should last a long time. I'm thinking that after it sits there, that'll help give the net a little bit of surface area to sit on. And I'm going to screw it down to the top of the post and see if I can't find a way to anchor the cables to these, and then run it to the corners. So to attach it to the posts, I got these eyelets. So all the posts are cedar, or not cedar, they're hedge. If you don't know anything about hedge, it's the hardest thing on the planet. It's ridiculously hard. It's pretty old now, so I'll have to drill the holes in order to get these things in there, but I knew that going into that. So I'm going to drill holes, put these eyelets into the corner posts, and then I got these little, whatever they call these things, I don't know, adjustable thingies. But basically they adjust. You spin this piece here and it adjusts tension, so it causes tensioners. So we attach the cable to this end, we hook them on the eyelets, and then as we get slack, I can tension those down and pull the slack out and keep the cable tight. So that's my plan. Now to do that, obviously first thing I got to do is figure out how to get this thing apart. I don't think it's going to be that difficult, because it doesn't look like it's on there that well. But try to do this without stabbing myself, preferably. Yep, look at that. All right. So that came off nice and easy. And so, like I said, now that I think about it, that might work right there. So what I'm going to do is take the little loops. I'm going to slide them over these holes that they already made in this. And that way I don't have to drill the holes. Attach the cables to those. They should work for the angles. And that should give it a good hard anchor point. Screw this down to the top of the post. And we'll see how this goes. So next thing I got to do is go down there, square up the top of the post. And then we'll have to get this attached and measure our length of our cables and get those made. Once we get those on, then we can stretch the net and see how much fun that's going to be.
You don't have the button.
Okay, well, as you can see, that took longer than we anticipated, but we got done pretty late last night, so we thought we'd come down and show you how it turned out. But Butt Nugget Factory net is done. As you can see, stretching that net is not fun. And when we have to do this again, I'll be getting a better net than this really thin one. But if you follow me in here, you'll see we have a nice midget level entry right there for us short midgets. And the net is stretched nice and tight up to our peak, supported on the corners by the wires, and then we secured it to the fence. The turnbuckles, come over here and I'll show you how the turnbuckles turned out. So there you go. Put the eyelets in there. Turnbuckles are in there so you can tighten them. These are what the clamps look like when you clamp the cables on, so the cable doesn't slip. And then as this loosens or stretches, I can tighten it with these turnbuckles so that it stays tight. And hopefully that works. But that's pretty much all I got for you. Again, we appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We really need you guys to follow us and talk us up on the interwebs. If you like this kind of stuff, we're always getting into some sort of crazy project, and I always have to find creative ways to do it on a very limited budget. So that's it for now. The Promised Land, signing off.